It's kind of focused on North Philly. That's that bump piece. This is an actual picture from one of the labs. They got some old Macs from us, and we built a computer lab, and these students had access to after school program and things like that, and it worked. And I kind of stuck with that model for a long time. And then ultimately, COVID happens, and guess what? You can't visit a computer lab anymore, right? So now we really need to think this again. And it's really digital inclusion to get that digital equity, right? That's that bridge we need to cross now. And that digital inclusion means internet access, actually having a computer device, and then digital literacy. Do you know how to use it? So I took these 5 principles of digital inclusion on the right-hand side here: affordable, robust internet service, internet-enabled devices, access to digital training, quality technical support, then applications to actually do the things, right? To be self-sufficient and things like that. And figured out, like, within the university and within our network, do we have all these pieces exist? They're just not tied together? Are there pieces missing that we should try to build out? And that's where we are now. So when COVID hit and I gave out all the laptops with IT, I had 50 machines sitting on a pallet in a dormant warehouse. And I said, what can I do with these? People need them, but I got nobody at work to give them out. So I call up one of my colleagues, Shirley Moy, and I said, I have 50 machines I want to give out to the community, but I can't physically do it. I have to live in my basement in Jersey. What can we do? And we kind of weaved our way through it and looked at all the challenges, and we've got several partners in the community to help us distribute those 50 machines. So I got them to my loading dock because we had already refurbished them. From the loading dock to where we're going to distribute them from, we had to get like Philadelphia Housing Authority to move them to their location. In the end, they couldn't move them. We had to get our facilities to move them to that location. Philadelphia Housing Authority gave us a little warehouse to run out of. And then we went to our partners and said, hey, do you have anybody in your community that aren't students from the district that don't have a machine that we may need one? Do they have an internet connection, right? What is their digital literacy? We took surveys. We took 3 different groups, took the top 15 from each, and then figured out a distribution model. They signed up. They come, social distance. In the middle of the pandemic in April, they would come and pick up their machine, take it home. I knew there was going to be a problem. Was there a tech support solution? We created a Google line where they can call and leave a message, and then we can call them back when we had time to figure out what their problem was. But to get ahead of all that, I literally created a step-by-step document in color with pictures and say, this is what a monitor is, and this is what the VGA cable is. This is what it looks like. This is what we call it. This is how this plugs into this piece, and had a step-by-step document so they could do it themselves when they got home, like in IKEA. They give you little directions with little pictures. That's how we created this little document. Of the 50 computers we gave out, we had 3 calls in that first thing. So I said, all right, that's good. We had another 50, we gave those out. In the end, we did about 200, but it wasn't sustainable. I didn't have the team to do it. So I really had to think that model. So now we have a new initiative we're working on. I've been developing it across the city to focus on North Philadelphia, and it's called the North Philadelphia Digital Navigators Workforce Development Initiative. And this idea is we have the LenFest North Philly Workforce Initiative. Shirley Moore runs it, the LNPWI. And they work with nonprofits in North Philadelphia to figure out how do we get people to work. And true transparency, and this is my vision of it, and this is an official university. Temple wanted to build a football stadium. We were getting hammered in the media and by the community on it. LenFest was one of our big funders. He sits on our board. He knew it was important, right? He knew it was very important that we take care of the community. So he funded with multi-millions of dollars this workforce initiative because the community was saying, hey, we're not getting the good jobs at Temple. You're going to build a stadium on us and you're going to affect our community anymore. So he was looking for ways to, like, how can I help? How can I help? And so this was one way they did it. That's the group we distribute the computers for, and that's our connections, right? So that's one of our partners. Philly Donate Tech is a partnership between me and EAF, which they're based in Jersey. They collect the machines. Retriever and Nerd It Now, and the Philadelphia Mayor's Fund. It was funded by, they gave us each about $6,000, funded by AT&T. And the idea now is from now, like May, from December through to May, right now, Philly Donate Tech, Nerd It Now, Retriever will come to your house free of charge to pick up electronic computers or monitors from you to get to me or Nerd It Now so we can refurbish and get them back out to the community. So Retriever is a closed loop company that won a bid in the city to increase the electronic waste collection in the city because they had a problem. Nobody was recycling their waste. And so they're a startup company that wasn't doing so well because the pandemic hit. And so they partnered with the city, and now they're doing a free collection until May. And then they're giving that equipment to us to refurb. So that's happening. And if you live in Philadelphia, that happens. Outside of Philly, that some of that model exists. And now we're trying to, so that gives me a stream of machines, right? I already have some at the university that gives me a stream. Philly Community Wireless is a project I'm working on to get people internet connections. So we're trying to build a free community wireless network, and I'm blowing past my time range, I apologize, to figure out how we can get community members connected online once they got a device. So that's a whole project we're working on. Comcast, we just signed a contract with them to give internet $10 a month, their internet essentials. I can now get codes and distribute those to students in need who can't afford Comcast at $10 a month, and we can pay that as the university, or people in our workforce development programs, which we can now fund their Comcast for 6 months or 12 months. PASSUP is another Temple department, which does training. It's Pan-African Studies based on Cecil B. Moore. Existed since the 70s to train community members on different topics. We're now including digital literacy in there, expanding that. They're going to train the people we're going to give the computers to, and then Call to Serve is one of my North Philly partners. So the idea is we're going to set up in Norris homes and try to build a community help desk that the community now can get a computer from through our partners. And if they have a tech problem, they can call into our number and we can get some sort of tech service to help them navigate either getting online, get their machine up and running, or if they need some sort of resource that we can develop them and push them in the right direction. I just hired somebody from the community to be my community liaison for this. First hire literally starts on the Monday. We're ready to roll with this thing. So this is our kind of